Hello and welcome everyone. It's Mikhail Casanova. We're back with another episode of Decked Up, a Steam Deck podcast. We're kicking your week off this beautiful Monday morning with some Steam Deck and gaming news, and we're just gonna have a good time. And before we dive further into it, if y'all are watching this on YouTube and you enjoy Decked Up and the content we put out, make sure you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and share it around with someone you think would enjoy it. Yeah, you even get fun stuff like my daughter dropping stuff behind while I'm recording. So hopefully that didn't pick up in the microphone. And also, if you're listening to this on any of the podcasting outlets from there's a couple actually, there is the biggest one being um, Apple Podcasts, and we've got Spotify. We also have um, what's the other one we got? We're on a lot of different platforms. So, regardless of the platform we're on all the major podcasting outlets that are there. So, if you enjoy the show, then leave us a rating, give us some feedback, things that we can improve upon, things you like, things you don't like, and then we'll try to make it do what it do, babe. We'll try our best. But anyways, yeah, definitely feedback is important. And if you think there's some other people that would enjoy the show, then make sure you share it around with them. So the other thing before we kick off the show, I want to first off apologize for the last episode. I didn't realize it when I was recording it that it was actually utilizing my Razer. So I've got this new webcam from Razer that they sent over to me. It's not exactly the newest model, but this is the Razer Kio Pro, which is why the camera quality has been so much better, but it has a microphone on it, and I didn't realize when I was recording that it was using that mic. My computer was using that microphone and not my XLR mic. So that was kind of annoying. Listening back to it and realizing how harsh the audio was, I was like, oh man, I really messed up. I felt really bad for that. So my apologies to you guys for the bad audio in the last episode, but it's still, you guys rocked with me regardless. So I greatly appreciate you guys for that. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive into all the stuff that has happened in this past week in gaming. So we had Resident Evil 4 remake. That was probably the one of not the biggest news, but that was like the biggest in gaming news that dropped last week and came out. There's a lot of patches that Capcom had pushed out to make the game run substantially better on its Steam Deck. Because if you guys know, when it came out initially with the demo, the chainsaw demo, it didn't at the beginning run on deck at all, and then they pushed out another patch. You had to use Proton Experimental or Proton GE49 to be able to get it to run. So thankfully now you can just run it without any of that, although there are some you know people that would say, like, lock it at 30 frames per second, run a Proton Experimental, and then go from there. You'll have a pretty good experience overall. I would say just run it straight out of the box. So, tweak the settings to what you want. I know there are a lot of outlets and people that create, custom profiles and settings for various games, and maybe they'll give the best experience for you. Maybe it won't. Ones I'll recommend if you want to check out any of that stuff. Check out, Games Revealed. He does a lot of stuff. Also, Steam Deck HQ and many others, Pixel Deck included. But for me, I just, I like to tinker. Like, someone can tell me, oh, these are the things I need to use, but I like to experiment and tinker around and figure out what works best for me. So yeah, out the box with all the updates and patches that they've done in the lead up to the game releasing, and here we are 3 days post launch of the game. It runs fine. You can run it out of the box. Now, battery life, yeah, you're gonna get about an hour and a half of battery life, but I mean, you still get that same amount even when you play Resident Evil 3 remake, 2 remake, as well as 7 and Village. So that's just to be expected. Any major AAA game on Steam Deck is going to get you a lower battery life. Now you can tinker around the TDP and see what works for you. That's what I would always say for anyone is, you have your deck, tinker with it to see, what are the best settings and how you can get it going. Now, I don't know why I grabbed the Steam Deck. So, anyways, outside of all that, Resident Evil 4 Remake is glorious. That game is so much fun. So, as you guys know, I did a review of it about a week before the game launched. I reviewed it for Steam Deck as well as for the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. And it's honestly, I'm still playing it, to be completely honest. I'm still going back, diving into it, finding new things, exploring, taking my time with it, which is interesting because typically on weekends is when I get to do a lot of my work because usually my wife is off, from her day job, and so she gets to, spend as much time as she wants with our kid, and I usually just take that time to just work. Like if I got any projects coming out, then I would use that time to work on it. Like right now, I have two controllers I need to do reviews for. So I've got the Nixie Wizard controller for the Switch, and I've also got the Ballard GC for Nintendo Switch. And interestingly enough, I actually have been sitting on these for several weeks now, and I haven't done anything with them just because there's just been, hard. It's not easy going between doing hardware reviews and gaming reviews, like for video format. It's easy to type that up. Well, not technically easy, but it is, because I don't, if I do a written review, I don't have to worry about having to get B-roll or stock footage and, clean the house to, I use NVIDIA broadcast to blur the background behind me because no matter how much I clean this house or this condo, my kids and my pets always make it messy. If you're looking at the video right now, you're going to see my daughter to my left, you're right. And it just makes it very difficult to have like a professional setup to be able to do everything I want to do. So that's kind of one of the things that I have to deal with. I don't necessarily I don't enjoy doing video product reviews because of that. It's just, and if I don't clean everything properly, then I got to deal with people complaining about that in the YouTube comment section. I've kind of gotten to a point now. I'm very selective about what I do and I don't respond to, just because that can mess with your mental health. Like somebody can just come along and they can just say one thing and it be the wrong time, and they just completely foobar your mental health. And it doesn't matter how strong you are, it can hit you. So yeah, I don't like having to do you know product reviews. Like I've also got two laptops to review. I've got a monitor to review. These are all from Acer. I got a bunch of other stuff that I'm working on. PlayStation VR 2 review, which I completed half a month ago, 15 days ago. But I have not sat to do the editing process because that is what I don't care to do. Like you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I got an editing team." Like I know a lot of bigger content creators that have editors and stuff to do all this stuff for them. So all they got to do is hit record and then send it off to someone else. Eventually, maybe if this podcast and the YouTube channel continues to grow at the rate that they are, maybe I can hire an editor and I can put out more content because I want to put out daily content. It's just very difficult to do that with a 2-year-old running around and pets and then teenagers. Trying to maintain your own physical, because I the one thing I do not skimp on is physical fitness, and I have been very, very active, working out 5 days a week for the last 2 months or 3 months at this point. And so, that's something I'm just not going to skimp on. Sleep, yeah, I skip on that. I shouldn't. But, anyways, I went on a whole tangent to say ultimately that I don't enjoy having to do videos for like products. It's easier to do written reviews, and that's just why I haven't done these two controllers. But circling everything back to the point of Resident Evil 4 Remake, because that does tie into everything here. I have been spending this weekend lovingly playing that game. I've been trying to work on speed running that game. I've been working on trying to get 100% in it, and it's like going between that and playing Dead Space Remake, and also diving into Diablo 4, the open beta. My wife and I have been playing Diablo 4, and it's a fun story for those who may not know. I don't think I've ever shared this, but my wife and I, we've been married for going on 8 years now. But before we ever started dating or anything like that, one of the games that we would always play when we would ever, hang out is Diablo 3 Ultimate Edition. And that was a game like I would bring my PlayStation 4 over to her place and we'd play it. And there would be times like she'd come over to my place and we'd hang out at my place and we'd just play that. And that was a game that we really bonded with. And, we went on to play Diablo 2 together. I even was able to fire up Diablo 1, play that, the PlayStation 1 version. We play that together. And we play a lot of other games too, like, dungeon crawlers are something that we really enjoy playing. And one of the games that I really definitely want to get playing, get around to playing with her is Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, and Dark Alliance 2, because those games, oh man, those games are so, so, so good. If you haven't played Dark Alliance 1 and 2, I heavily implore you to go and check those out because they're so good. And it's so criminal that we have not gotten Dark Alliance 3. We did get Dark Alliance 2021, I believe. That's when that came out. It was just called Dark Alliance, and that was around the time that they were re-releasing Dark Alliance 1 and 2. And as much as it's cool for what it is, it doesn't scratch the itch of what I wanted with Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. So yeah. Yeah. So going back to Diablo 4, we played and we completely beat the open beta. We recorded some of the gameplay of when we first completed the beta, which I will have up on the YouTube channel later on, and I'll probably do a video review about it, talking about my overall thoughts and impressions of it. I think it's really good. One technical issue that I have run into with it, and it's more or less not really like a glitch or a bug or anything. It's just something I think they need to reprogram. And that is when you're in dungeons, and then there's like, if you go to certain areas within dungeons, and like if there's like building architecture, then instead of it going transparent, it'll just be there and it'll block your field of vision. And so when we were fighting a lot of the Lilith's minions that were like sub bosses, we constantly had that happen, and it was so annoying constantly having to deal with that. That was something oh man, I became like a sailor. I was swearing up and down about that because I was like, yo, like there was times that we were so close to beating the boss and we ended up dying just because of that like type of stuff. So hopefully they can, fix that, make architecture go transparent when you're passing through it so it doesn't obstruct your viewpoint. But Diablo 4, man, that game, that's one of the few games, this year that my wife was like, yeah, give me that. I want that now. The other games that she said that about were Hogwarts Legacy, which you guys know I did a review on that. Uh, what else is it? Final Fantasy 16. We're both highly excited for that. Tears of the Kingdom, which there will be I think there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow for Tears of the Kingdom, which should be interesting. 10 minutes of gameplay. I probably won't be up for that. I know it's going to be happening at about 3 a.m. my time, but yeah, I'm like, do I sleep or do I do that? I think I want to sleep because I did injure my back over the weekend, so I'm like struggling to get sleep. I don't have my edibles, so I need my gummies to help with sleeping. That's I do struggle with sleeping, so yeah. I don't know about being up early for that, but anyways, back to the point. So Tears of the Kingdom, she's like, day one, I want that. Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, and other than that, yeah, I think Diablo was the fourth one. She's like, yeah, I need that day one. We need to get that. Go ahead, reach out to your connections, and make sure you secure that review copy. Try to get two, and so we can play it together. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make it happen. But anyways, yeah. So we had a lot of fun with that. I played as a barbarian. She played as a rogue, and we were just having a lot of fun. We're thinking about starting a clan too for Diablo 4. If that's something you guys would be interested in joining or playing with us online, when that game drops, definitely let me know. But that game is a lot of fun. I always like to play tanks when I play just about any action RPG or RPG. I usually just love playing as a tank. So, with Barbarian, which I always do with Diablo, but occasionally if they offer like a Paladin class, I'll go with the Paladin. I did that with Diablo 3. I beat it with Barbarian, and I did the the other class, which was the Paladin. And also Diablo Immortal. I've actually been spending some time playing that game because I do like mobile gaming, and I'm actually looking at picking up the Red Magic 8 phone. I think it's the Red Magic 8 Pro, so I can play more mobile games. I know a lot of people are like, oh God, mobile games, but here's the thing: a lot of really good mobile games out there. There's Nikkei, there's the what's the other game? I got to pull up my phone and pull up all the mobile games I've been playing. So I've got, let's see, starting with page one because I've got like 5 pages. So it's that Fantasia. I got Genshin Impact, which I don't really play Genshin Impact. I should. I think it's because it's so hyped. I just don't play it. But apparently, there's a way to play it on Steam Deck, and I'm gonna test that out because if I can play Genshin Impact on Steam Deck, I'm gonna be on it. So it's Call of Duty Mobile. I love playing that because I love playing Call of Duty, Diablo Immortal. I've got Near. It's a Near game, the mobile one. I can't think of the name of it. Octopath Traveler, Champions of the Continent. I play that. So I got Ease 1 and 2. Staple. I gotta have that. I'm a big fan of the E series. Lunar, Silver Star Story, got that. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Also got the Castlevania, the newer mobile game, which is part of Apple Arcade, which is love that game. Contra, Oceanhorn 2, KOF All Stars, Garu Mark of the Wolves, and I've got Honkai Impact, and I think the Star Rail is going to be coming out, so I'm going to be playing that. But that's also going to be available on PlayStation as well, so that's going to be something I'm going to be playing. And then I've got, other than that, Ease Online. So there's that, Nikkei, Arc Knights, which I love, and Neverland. So those are the mobile games I'm playing, and I'm looking to pick up the Red Magic 8 because I want to, and I've been debating because like one of my friends, uh, Chaotic, he has it and he uses it purely for gaming. And I keep thinking about that. I'm like, do I want to replace my? Because I'm a dual phone user. I've got the Pixel 7 Pro and I've got the iPhone uh, Pro Max, 13 Pro, whatever. I think it's 13 Pro Max. I think is what I got. I don't know. They all look the same. So I've got that. So that's the iPhone is my primary personal line. My main daily driver, and then for work/content creating, the Pixel 7 Pro is that phone, which I do game on the Pixel 7 Pro. And a lot of people just say it's not great for gaming. I haven't really run into any issues with it being like having any issues with running games. But the biggest thing I've been running into is the fact that I'm running out of storage. So we're at a point where 128 gigs of storage on a phone, this is not enough between the OS updates for the phones, if you want to play games on it, and downloading games and the updates for games, you taking pictures or you doing videos, you know, now you're at a point like if you guys have ever seen any of my unboxing videos or any of my tech review stuff, all that footage is captured using my Pixel 7 Pro or my iPhone just because those cameras are so good. Like I have a DSLR. I've got a Sony A6000 and A6 was it A6300 and an A6500, as well as the what is that? This Panasonic Lumix G7. I've got all of those. I just don't use them because it makes more sense to me to just pull out the camera phone, often getting better quality, and just going with that. There was a point where I felt I needed to have that high end stuff because that was the stuff that all the YouTubers were pushing. Like, you got to have the best audio interface, you got to have the best gaming laptop, the best gaming desktop, the best headphones, the best. You can't be using USB mics. You got to have an XLR mic, and I'm over here to tell you now, ain't nothing wrong with a USB mic. And I'm trying to see if I can pick this up without making too much. Excellent USB microphone, one that I've used for several years now. No, sorry if I'm turning away from the camera, but an excellent microphone is the Bumblebee 2. Get that in frame. So the Bumblebee 2 is a USB microphone. Absolutely love it. Everything from Neat is really good. They make, and the reason it's kind of crazy. I'm not, but I am kind of like, I'm not partnered with Neat mics, but I kind of am because I have every microphone that they've made so far. They send it to me and I review them and I do promotional stuff for it. It's an excellent microphone, and what's interesting is I actually got to interview the president and founder and creator of Neat Mics and the vice president as well. And what's also cool about that is the guy who created Neat Mics is the same guy who created Blue Microphones and the Blue Yeti in the whole Blue line of products. Same guy. He just created the company and then eventually sold it off. And now they make Neat Mics, and they're just some of the best mics out there, and which is now under the Turtle Beach umbrella. So headphones I typically love using are these, which are the Sin Pro Max Air or Sin Pro Max. But the only issue is sometimes my laptop and my desktop have an issue with connecting with them. But for what they are, man, love them. High end headphones. I don't know, I went on a little tangent there, but yeah, I absolutely love Neat products, Turtle Beige, Roccat. Like, I'm not partnered with them, but they send me everything. So I guess I'm quasi partnered with them, if that makes sense. Tell me if that makes sense. If that makes sense, I'll rock with it. So, all that being said, um, what else is there? What else is there? There's a little bit more. I want to say I lost my train of thought. I don't know where we were. I think we were talking about uh something, and I just went off and talked about microphones that I did a plug that I'm not getting paid for. Anyways, yes, Diablo, mobile gaming. That's what I was talking. I was talking about mobile gaming and mobile gaming phone. So yeah, I'm thinking about getting a Red Magic 8 Pro. And I know Razer has the Razer. That was it. Their Razer phone, but apparently that thing is getting lambasted. People are just saying it's not worth it. So I'm thinking about getting a Red Magic 8 because that seems to be the gaming phone to have, and I'll pick that up. But yeah, mobile gaming, which ties back into Diablo because I said I was playing Diablo 4 open beta, and I went into talking about that. So you see how this works? We just have this flow. And you're probably wondering, how does this even factor back into the Steam Deck? Well, I was playing, one of the other things is I was playing Diablo 4 on the Steam Deck. And for the most part, it ran well. And I'm looking forward to like better support for it going forward because there were occasional issues I ran into on Steam Deck where it had, frame drops and the like. So I'm hoping that they will fix that going forward and we don't have to deal with that. But, for the most part, it was a great experience. I do have Diablo 2 on Switch. I also have it on the what's it, the Blizzard launcher. So PC, I do play it on Steam Deck. I wish there's two things I wish would happen. I don't mind playing Diablo 3 on Switch. You know, I love Diablo 3. I know a lot of people don't love that because the holy grail is Diablo 2. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Diablo 2 is the holy grail of Diablo games. But I will say that I wish I could play Diablo 3 on my Steam Deck with controls because, you know, the PC version doesn't have controller support, which sucks because Diablo 2 has controller support. And I'm like, why can't y'all patch that in there? But anyways, that's enough of that rant. I love Diablo. It's one of my favorite series out there. So, other thing I want to talk about, we had the announcement of Counter Strike 2. So a lot of people are really, really excited about that. I'm a fan. You know, I love Counter Strike. I think that's an amazing series, and the announcement of that game really came out of nowhere. Definitely is going to be something I'm going to be playing on Steam Deck. One that I think a lot of people are going to gravitate towards it. I'm just wondering how is that going to fit in the current market? Like, are they going to push that to be up there with like the current FPS, like military shooter style games, like Call of Duty and Battlefield, and then what's the other one? Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six. Are they going to push it to be mainstream, or is this going to stay something that mostly PC players are going to be hopping on? That's something I'm curious to find out. You know, I think if they put the marketing behind it, it could definitely be something that would be amazing to experience overall. That's just my thoughts. That's my thoughts on that. I'm not too sure what or how they're going to market that, but I think they should definitely market it as a mainstream title and push it so that people would hop on that. Because I can see a lot of people who play COD would jump over to it. You know, is it going to be PC exclusive? Is it going to be coming to consoles as well? If it comes to consoles, you got a whole market. Is it going to be free to play? Is it going to be paid? These are questions that we need answers to. So hopefully we get those answers soon. Anyway, so next game I want to talk about Last of Us Part 1 coming to Steam, and I have a review copy. My review will be out, if not later, today, which is today is March 27, 2023. It's not out later today, it'll be out first thing tomorrow. And pretty much no issues with it running on Steam Deck. It runs substantially better than it does on that not well, it runs better than Returnal did out the gate. So you can get, if anything, I'd say lock it at 30 frames per second. It's pretty much like if you experience playing Uncharted, you get an idea of how it runs. So it'll mostly be 30, but can sometimes go up to like 45, 50. Sometimes very rarely will hit 60, but I do know they will be pushing out patches to fix it to be able to run at close enough to 60, if not eventually 60 frames per second. And that's going to be cool for a lot of people to be able to experience that game. I'm loving it so far. I think personally, the timing of the release is poor because you're releasing it after Resident Evil 4 remake and after how like glowing reviews that's gotten. Not saying people aren't going to buy Last of Us Part 1 on PC, but I think the time to release that was when the show was wrapping up. That would have been like whoever made that marketing decision or that business decision to not release it then. I don't know. I don't know what you were doing. Like, what were you doing? You should have released the game when the show was wrapping up, when everyone was talking about it, especially people who aren't gamers who are more than likely going to pick this up. But yeah, it runs great on deck. You know, no real major issues I've run into. Of course, you're going to get the people who are super technical. That's something else I want to talk about. So there are people, you know, especially when it comes to like Steam Deck content creators and such. You know, no shade on them. It's great with the people who like to do the technical stuff and get all into the nitty gritty. That's great. I'm into all that myself. But here's the thing: I don't like outside of having to talk about all the technical stuff for like work purposes, or if I do talk to other content creators or sometimes occasionally viewers, ladies and gentlemen, my daughter. um, I don't talk about a lot of the technical stuff in my free time. Like literally, if because I'm with my toddler all the time, if I can just pick up the game and play it, or just if it's a Steam Deck, if it's Switch, if it's Analog Pocket, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, if I can sit at my gaming laptop or desktop or play something on my phone, then I'm just gonna pick it up and play it. I'm not gonna be criticizing or analyzing. So if anyone's looking for that type of critical breakdown or first impressions quasi review, but more so of a first impression, I mean, you got Pixel Deck, you got Steam Deck HQ, you got all those folks. I'm not that guy. I'm not him. So keep that in mind. Um, I focus on, is it playable? Is it fun? That's the biggest thing for me. So that's what, when it comes to like when I review games, yeah, I'll have a section for technical performance, but the biggest thing for me is the game fun? Because if it's not fun, it doesn't matter how great it runs if you're not having fun playing it. So that's just my stance on it. Speaking of which, I actually did get I don't want to put their name out there, but you guys probably can surmise who it is. But I've been asked if I would start writing reviews for an outlet. And I I am a games journalist. I know that has a lot of negative connotation behind it. I went to school for not journalism, technically. I went to school for um, for criminal justice, and then ended up getting into marketing, journalism, and psychology. So I have a major, or not a major. I have um, I have a bachelor's in communications marketing. I have a second bachelor's in journalism, you know, and I also have a bachelor's in psychology. So I spent a lot of time in college. Telling you, doing 18 to 21 credits a semester. That was brutal. But yeah, so I have been doing video game journalism for almost as long as I've been married to my wife, because I pretty much started roughly around then, if not a little bit before then. So I've been doing it about 8, almost 9 years. And, I love it. Not everyone who's in game journalism is great at games. So there's that. And especially now, we've gotten more activists in gaming, so you're never gonna get that from me. I'm never gonna be one of these people that's gonna be, oh, I'm gonna review Hogwarts Legacy, but let's talk about the 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 political and social ethics of it, because I don't give a shit about that. I don't publicly talk about politics or social stuff like that, because I I'm from the era where you kept that shit to yourself. You know, keep it separate. But a lot of people want that, and if you're one of the people that wants that, cool. I'm just not gonna be the person to give it to you. But you know, I lost train of thought, so I need to go tell it, need to rope that some bitch and bring it on back home. I say all that to say that I've written for other publications. I've worked with other publications, so Game Informer, magazine, AGN. Yes, I've done stuff for Kotaku, even though they're a fucking joke. And I've done stuff, for online print. I've or not online print, online outlets, as well as other content creators. I've ghostwritten for other content creators, create content for them. So this is not a first me being asked if I would write for another thing. So the only thing in this situation is, for me, I don't want to promote another brand. So like the only compensation of it, truly, if I were to do this, would be exposure, because they have great exposure. they're also fairly very new to all of this, so there's going to be a lot of growing pains. So one of the things I was thinking was, okay, with this, I could join it and grow with them. But I've worked for other people. The last time I worked for someone else truly was when I was working in IT, which I've done IT all like concurrently with video game and tech journalism. I've done IT for over a decade. I was a senior systems analyst. I was a senior programmer. I was a senior security analyst, and you know, I don't want to work for someone else. I don't want to make somebody else more famous or prominent with my work. Maybe that's stupid of me to feel that way, and I'm not throwing shade because there are people who are hopping on to this opportunity and growing with this outlet. But for me, I like being independent. And even though I could grow at a substantially larger and higher rate if I were to do this, I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to keep doing what I do. I have been full time content creating since September 4th, 2019. I've not worked for any other company. I've not had any other job other than doing full time content creating, game journalism, podcasting. And I've done okay so far. I'm not where I want to be, but in my heart of hearts, I'm more content doing this than I would be working for someone else, being on someone else's deadline, beyond like, call it, like having, okay, here's an embargo, get your content out here. Like be going beyond that. If I were to go beyond that, I haven't done anything like that, working for someone else. And especially if I'm going to work for another outlet, I need to get paid. You need to pay me a living wage. You need to pay me close to what I was making before I quit my job. Like when I was working previously at Hawaii Pacific Health, I was making six figures. So if I'm going to go and work for somebody else, you're going to need to pay me. Maybe not six figures, but you need to pay me as someone who's an industry veteran what I'm worth. And they can't do that. The only payment right now is exposure. And I can't buy diapers for my toddler with exposure. I can't put food on the table for all of my kids and my wife with exposure. I can't buy tickets with exposure. I can get into events by being, tied to someone, but I'm already able to go to events on my own. So that's just where I'm at. For me, I still mull it over in my head. I'm leaning towards no. I'm not gonna do it. You know. But yeah, I think I just want to stay doing my own thing. Podcasting, journalism, gaming, tech, and just doing what I do. So yeah, that's my thoughts. That's the updates for the week. Got a bunch of other stuff as far as Steam Deck. I know it's a Steam Deck and podcast primarily, but I like to talk about other stuff too. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing this show, which is it's gonna be a weekly show, but I'm looking at putting out maybe 3 episodes a week. But I think I'm gonna start with two. I think we're gonna start with I'm gonna kick the week off on Monday and we're gonna end it out Friday night. So why don't y'all let me know if that works for you. If y'all like that, we can rock with it. If you don't like it, give me some ideas. All that being said, you enjoyed this episode. If you're watching it on YouTube, do all the stuff that YouTube likes, like, share, comment, subscribe. If y'all want to live stream, because I used to live stream Decked Up. If y'all want me to go back to live streaming the show, definitely let me know. I do stream, so I stream on YouTube on youtube.com/ at Mikhail Casanova. I also stream on Twitch. I'm really trying to grow my Twitch. So if you guys like, you know, watching streams on Twitch, I like to stream, you know, Resident Evil, Silent Hill. You know, I like to do fighting games, Call of Duty, and I also want to start playing WWE 2K23 because I'm a big WWE nerd. So WrestleMania is this weekend. I can't wait. Plus NXT Stand and Deliver. I cannot wait for that. But yeah, definitely follow me over on twitch.tv/Mikhail Casanova. And I am dabbling with kick.com. I'm not completely sold on the platform, but hey, it is what it is. All that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. You know, if you're watching it, I already told you do the stuff that YouTube likes. Give me some feedback in the comment section down below. You're listening to it on whatever podcast outlet you're listening to. Follow the show, leave a rating because that helps. We have officially, this show is officially sponsored by Spotify, which is mind blowing. Never would have expected that to ever happen. And that wouldn't have happened without you guys who listen to the show every time I upload. So definitely, one of the next episodes coming up, I'm going to have a developer on who does VR gaming. So it's going to be interesting having them on. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about that, I'm also working to try and get some people who develop games for Steam Deck. So I'm excited for that too. But definitely let me know what you think. Again, comment section down below. And for YouTube, rate, like the show on outlets, leave feedback, leave a review. And if you want to support the show, and if you want it to get to a point where it's ad free, because hey, I gotta buy diapers and foods for my my kids and my family, then consider supporting us over on Patreon. So patreon.com/Mikhail Casanova. We also got coffee. We got Subscribe Star. You know, there's also, I'm thinking about implementing sponsorship, not sponsorship, but like partner stuff. No, I guess it is sponsorship, like this stuff through Spotify to have exclusive episodes for listeners who want to sign up for that. But I do have exclusive content over on Patreon, so definitely check that out. Patreon.com/Mikhail Casanova. You know, every little bit helps. And then I got affiliate links. So if you want to pick up anything for your Steam Deck, you know, accessories, micro SD cards, controllers, and such, definitely check it out. I got affiliate links for Amazon, Best Buy, GameStop, all that stuff. So every little bit helps. And if you want to pick up games, got affiliate links for those too. Definitely go check out some stuff, CD keys and all that. Links, all that's going to be down below. So that being said, this is your morning. Well, you're not. Yeah, it's my morning. It's probably your afternoon or evening. But this is the Monday update. So every Monday we'll have this going, and every Friday we'll wrap up the week. So all that being said, hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one, or you'll hear me. However, I'm struggling to end this episode. But yeah, I catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, have aloha. I'll see you. You'll hear from me on the next one. Peace.